I just remember Matt going, I'm dating a literal princess. And he just posted it. And I kind of sat there and just like, oh, okay. Because like, we never talked about it. We were just doing the dates, but
right.
I guess it just didn't click with me.
Okay.
But he just posted it for all of his Twitter followers.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex, and I help shy, introverted nerds get over their fears and anxieties to find their player 2. Today I bring you Elyse, a nerd who found her player 2, and we're going to talk about how they ended up together. The idea is to address some of your questions, dispel some myths, and hear about the many different ways that nerds can find real relationships. Elyse, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
So just to get started, what makes you a nerd? Like, I've seen some of your content. I know that you're into like cosplaying, reading a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, your handle is Princess Bilbo, so that tells me like you like Lord of the Rings. But in your words,
love Lord
like
of the Rings.
Yeah, like what would you say that makes you a nerd?
I think what makes me a nerd is my love for these fictional worlds and these fictional places. Because I grew up my dad always teases me about like this being a phase and like about how I'm so nerdy. And then I look at him and I'm just like, I learned this from you. Cause like he brought me up on playing Sierra games, adventure games like King's Quest, Laura Bow. He's the one who forced me to read The Hobbit and got me into all of this. So yeah, it's just this love for these places that don't exist.
I love it. I love how he's like, you're such a nerd. It's like, well, it's your fault. Like, deal with it.
Like the phrase is like, I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you.
Yeah. This is your side of the family. Don't blame me. Fantastic. So where does your story start with your partner?
So I met Matt many, many, many years ago. So I'm Jewish and he's also Jewish. And I grew up with like not a lot of Jewish friends. And my friends approached me and they were like, Elyse, we met another Jewish cosplayer. And I was so excited because I didn't have Jewish friends and I really wanted Jewish friends. And to also have them be a cosplayer as well was just like two parts of my life coming together. And I was just like, I really want this person to be my friend. And so they introduced us. And the very, very funny part of it is that we exchanged phone numbers and I gave him my phone to put in his number and he put his name in my phone as Matt Husband. And that is how that's how we met. Is he right away was just like, I'm your husband now and you're my wife. And I was just like, okay, cool. And it wasn't in a flirty way because in the cosplay community at the time, it was very, very common to be like, oh, you're my waifu and you're my husbando, because we were a bunch of weebs and we're just really weird. Because like the second you cosplay someone, you're somebody's favorite character and you're someone's like waifu. And so it was already in our vernacular to call each other that. So he put himself on my phone as my husband and I'm in his phone as his wife. And we were like that for the whole time.
When he put his name as like Mad Husband.
Yes.
Had you guys been like chatting and stuff for like the whole like for a few days or something or for a while and things clicked, or he just saw you and he's like, you're my wife, done?
Like, yeah. No, it was literally,
why you?
It was literally maybe like we were talking and it wasn't just me and him talking because like our friends were there too. Our mutual friends that introduced us. So all of us were chatting for maybe about like 45 minutes. And so we decided to exchange phone numbers. And it was just like, because we were also connecting on being Jewish as well. So we were joking around about just having that, like, well, we're both into cosplay, we're both Jewish. It's just like
Right.
we should be married. And like we were just joking,
Yeah.
and it was he just decided to put it in my phone.
Yeah. No, I do remember like a long time ago, I was part of the Tolkien Association back in Argentina, and we had something similar. It some people was like, yes, husband and wife. Mostly people that they had a crush on for the most part, when I could tell what I could tell. But some of us were like family. Like a friend of mine was my sister, right?
Yeah.
And she's got like browner skin, and I'm like super white. And when we met people, I was like, yeah, she's my sister, and they're like, what do you mean? Yeah, from different parents, but yeah. Um, so I can really see that. And I was actually working on one of the episodes, the Tolkien Association episode. And I was chatting with a friend, and we were saying how it's much easier to like exchange contact details when it's not like at a bar or at a club or on the street. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you meet with a group of friends for a specific reason. You already have something in common,
Hmm.
and you exchange phone numbers because it's the natural thing to do. It's like, you seem cool. Let's stay in touch. And it's not clear whether it's for dating or not. Could be, but it's much more natural, right?
Yeah.
To ask for a number, or to offer a contact,
Yeah.
even to say that you're the husband.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like now it's just so easy just to be like, oh, can I have like your Instagram so we can like message each other and get like, oh, I love like, especially in like the cosplay world, it's just like, oh my God, I love your cosplay. What's your Instagram handle so I can follow you? And then it's like, oh my God, I want to follow you back. You love this character. I want to talk about them. So it's really easy just to have moments of just like, let's connect.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to have like all that pressure of like, I'm asking for the contact, and like, what are they going to think? Are
Yeah.
they going to say no? Like, they're much less likely to say no because, I mean, most of the time you're just between friends, and it could be just like friendly exchange of contacts. Then you can start a conversation if you want to and see where it goes.
Yeah.
But there's not so much pressure of, like asking for the number. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So what did you think when you first met him? Right? Like he was like, okay, she's my wife, done. What did you think?
When we first met, I thought, and I still think this today, I consider him basically like the sun. He is so bright. He's so warm. He's so comforting. He just draws so many people to him because he's so friendly and he's so kind. And like that's one of the main reasons why like I'm attracted to him is because of this warmth that he just radiates. And it's you go if you're around him, it's nearly impossible not just to automatically love him because when he's talking to you, he's genuinely interested in what you have to say. And he's just so funny. And like everybody around him just loves him. But it was a few years later, we were at like this cosplay gathering and he and I were chatting. And it was so funny that one of our photographer friends was there taking photos. And our friend took a photo of us chatting. But during that conversation, I was in my head going like, if this boy keeps talking to me, I'm going to get a crush on him and it's his fault because he's so charming and he's so nice and he's so funny. And like, I dig his vibes. Like he's really, really great. And if he keeps talking to me, it's going to be his fault that I have a crush on him. And like, that's what he's going to have to deal with. And he kept talking to me. And so I started developing feelings for him, but we didn't really live close to each other. So we would only see each other at conventions. So nothing really happened. And by the time like we were able to have easier access to each other, um, it kind of had this like never the right time moment. There was like one moment when we were so close. he asked me out on a date, but I did not know it was a date. I thought we were just hanging out as friends. I wanted it to be a date. I wanted it to be. But I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not going to like, I, I'm just going to keep it chill. And we
But
went
had you
to,
guys been like chatting together like before he asked, or did you just happen to meet again at a cosplay event or something?
we have been chatting at this, like, just like casually and things like that. Um, and he asked me to go to this event at a local museum called LACMA. Um, and it was like this whole Tim Burton thing, and it was like for Halloween. And I really wanted to go. And it was so funny because I wasn't feeling well. And I was like, okay, I'm still gonna go. I'm feeling a little sick, but I'm still gonna go because this might be a date, but it might not be a date, but it might be. So I'm gonna
I I
go.
call I call those Schrödinger dates.
That's so funny. Yes.
It's like, and I really like them actually. Like, I mean, because sometimes you don't really know the person, so you're like, okay, I want to hang out and I want to like get to know them better. So you don't want to put the pressure on. It is a date, so it's like,
Yeah.
hey, let's go hang out. Could be a date, could be as friends. Who knows? It doesn't have to be something bad,
Yeah.
right?
And yeah, and we definitely had a really good time. And there were some moments where like the chemistry was hitting hard, but I was sitting there going like, I can't let him get close to me because I don't feel well and I don't want to be contagious. If he gets
Oh
sick
my
because
god!
of me, I will be so sad. I'll be so upset with myself. So I have to keep away. Um, and I did find out years later, because I found out when we were officially together that he was just like, no, that was a date. And I was just like, I knew it.
But he never
But I did
clarified.
tell him no. And I did have a fever the next day. So
Okay,
I'm just like,
he
okay,
was
I'm
so
glad.
hot.
I'm glad that like nothing happened, because I would have been so sad if I got him sick. But I was just like, I knew it. I knew it was a date.
Do you know if he was trying to get closer and you were pulling back and or something?
There were a few moments that I felt that he was getting closer, but I did say to him that I wasn't feeling that great. And so because I did have to, there were some moments where I had to sit down and I'm just like, okay, hold on, like I'm not feeling too hot. Let me sit down for a moment. Let me get some water. So
Right.
uh so he was aware that I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, I mean, date or not, that's not the best time to make a move usually, right? So it does show, like from your side, it does show a lot of interest to go meet someone even as friends, even if you're sick. It's like, to me, it's one of the things of like, okay, you're not feeling well, but you still came. Okay, I'll take that as, even if like I can't get close, like you're saying, like, oh, like you don't want him to get close so that he doesn't get sick. Even if that happens, to me, it's like, okay, like she came even though she was sick, so that shows interest, right? That would be like
Yeah.
the opposite of getting stood up.
Yeah. 100%. Um, but it,
So,
but that
so
still
what
wasn't
happened
how we
after
got
that first
together.
Schrodinger? Right. So just to recap so far. So you guys met, your friends introduced each other, then you met a couple like a year later, and you were like, he seems like cute. Then a couple of years later, he invites you on a Schrodinger date. And what happened after the Schrodinger date?
So this is when our time kind of just didn't line up. Um, Basically, I got into a relationship, he was single. He got into a relationship, I was single, and it flip flopped like that for a little bit. But then our mutual friend Steph was getting married. So Steph invited both Matt and I to their wedding, and Matt and I were in the same room together with his best friend and uh, his wife. And after that, Matt and I just started talking like a lot. And then 2020 hit and we were stuck inside and he and I were just talking every single day. Like we couldn't go a day without talking to each other. And Matt and I for such a long time have had feelings for one another. And just like again, there was like all this timing issues that didn't really make it work out. And um so we already knew a lot about each other. Matt already knew about some of my past relationships and how they weren't that great, and I knew about his. And um, we were just finding each other during 2020 and the stressful times that, like, we were just really confiding in each other and really leaning on each other. And we decided to do a Discord date and where we just like popped on a movie and we just chatted with each other and like reacted to the movie as we were watching it. And my D&D group was so kind, and in the game they bought my character a tiara. So out of game, all the players decided to buy me a tiara that matched my character's tiara because I play a little mouse folk who's like the super sweet girl. She's so sweet. And so they bought me a tiara just to be like, to comfort me about losing my job. And I posted pictures of it. And I just remember Matt going, I'm dating a literal princess. And he just posted it. And I kind of sat there and just like, oh, okay. Because like, we never talked about it. We were just doing the dates, but
Right.
I guess it just didn't click with me.
Huh.
Um, but
Okay.
but he just posted it for all of his Twitter followers.
So basically, like, that's really interesting. I have never heard of that one before. So he just assumed that you guys, like, was he 100% serious about, like, had he been thinking that you guys were already dating?
Yeah, and I was feeling it too, and like I was saying everything like for when we were talking. But I was always really nervous, so I always kind of put it in like that joking tone of just like, oh, it's date night, but like I'm just like, but friends, it's fine. But he was being serious, and but it was fine by me because like I was like I was already a goner. I was head over heels. Like it's already
Right.
done. Like I'm sold. Like say less, sir. Say less. It's
So what did you tell him when you saw that?
um I didn't say anything. I just like kind of sat and like kicked my feet and we like little squeal like um and then it was just really fun watching all of our friends react to it as like just super excited that we're dating and a bunch of people just going finally like just they're like we can't take it anymore, you guys been calling each other husband and wife for 10 years.
Was it 10 years?
Yes, it was 10 years before we got to like from when we met to when we got together was 10 years.
That's fine. So like when people were asking you like, oh, you never told us you were dating, we just found out, you're like, yeah, me too. I just found out as well.
Yeah, I in my head, I didn't tell people that. I was like, yeah, totally. But yeah, it was a little bit of a like happy surprise because it was definitely like I kind of I kind of like rack it up to me being asexual um because it's really hard to truly identify these feelings in the way because like is I feel love so easily. Like I love people like that. Like meet a new person. I love you. Done. I'm in love with you. You're beautiful, wonderful. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest cheerleader. Done. So switching that to like the romantic type is like always just like, oh, am I just like, and like in love with them as a friend or in love with them? And, you know, as I got older, it was easier to identify. But I'm very good at doubting myself. Like as soon as I plant that seed, it flourishes. Like as soon as I'm just like, well, maybe not. And then that tree is a redwood as tall as the tallest redwood.
That's funny. So I'm still surprised that you guys were like so like going on dates or whatever, and for you were like, we're just friends. I really like my friend, but we're just friends. And suddenly he's like, yeah, we're dating. What? I'm just really surprised. I mean, I'm glad that it worked out great. It's a very bold move, I have to say.
He is very bold, and just in life in general, he is very
Clearly.
bold.
Clearly. Okay, thank you so much, Elyse, for coming.
Thank
this
you.
has been amazing. And everyone else, if you have questions for her, for past guests, or if there's something that you want me to ask future guests, please let me know. Send me an email at dm@roadtodate.com or at roadtodate anywhere on social media. And Elyse, your handle is Princess Bilbo everywhere?
Yes. Everywhere. Awesome. I am Princess Bill. I found a handle and I stuck with it. I stuck with that handle.
Perfect. So if you want to get in touch with her, she's got great content on cosplaying and books, and I saw some cooking stuff as well. So
I'm a very avid baker.
Yeah. And I love how it's like, I was watching one, like melting the chocolate, and here's this book, and doing this, and here's this book, and we're doing that, and here's this book. Like, okay, that's an interesting way to do it.
Lots of books.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, take care. Everyone else as well, please take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.